Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm going to take this little board here. I built this in another video, and I am going to fix that stack of boards right there. It's a Bally lamp driver boards. So without further ado, Django, roll that beautiful, not bean video, beautiful pinball video. Okay, I got another board up here. I'm going to do the first test. If anything's locked on, nothing's locked on. Go to the next test. It's going to flash all of them. 16 is not working. Oh, if I wiggle it, it comes on. So it's got a, that's kind of nice. Just going to put a dot. So what else? Oh, 40. This one here. Oh, it's, so I've got some bad solder joints on the SCRs. Let's see what else. Number 3. That one's not coming back to life, so put 2 dots for that one. See what else we got. 40, we already did that one. 54. It's this one here. Yeah, that one, it's totally loose. So, I think I will, I'll unplug this sucker. Flip this board over and I'll solder these up. Naked eye, it doesn't look too awful bad there, but the tester says otherwise. There's one of them. Let's see, the next one is. Oh, that one looks awful right there. I can just, you can just tell by looking at it, it's totally broken free. And there's this one, yeah, that one's the same. Big gaps. Oh gosh, I don't know if this is the other one, but it's, even if it was working, it's, I can just see with my eyeball, it's fractured. A little corrosion on the board down here, so it's not wanting to stick as well. Yeah, that one was one of our other ones. And then the other one was, oh, actually that was the one that was, I had to put the 2 dots on. Oh, so that's why it didn't look bad. So let's get our diode tester out here and just test it real quick. Well, it's testing. Okay, let's still got everything plugged in, so let's just see if what we did just then actually fixes it. It might have. Q3 is still bad. I think I'll just swap it out real quick. All right, I got that new SCR on there. This thing turned around. Oops. There we go. Try this one more time. Still don't have 3. So there's something else. So could be a bad trace. Well, let's turn it off and let's look at this a little bit more. Those two look good. So I'm just following it. It goes to this chip here. I didn't even look at the other ones, see if they're all working. Let's do that real quick. Yeah, it took care of all the other ones, so it's just number 3. Well, I guess we'll get the schematics out and dig into this a little bit deeper. So Q3 is driven through R3 here, which is reading 2 kiloohms. See what R2 is. 2 kiloohms. And I guess y'all can't. I should show you this. So Q3 is right here. So it goes through R3, which is pin 20 on chip U1. So we could get the probe out and see if that probe is going. Probe 20. We'll do that. Pin 20 of U1. So we got my logic probe hooked up, and when the testing board is plugged in here, you've basically got your 5 volts here between the ground pin and the TP1. So this thing is live. So if we go to pin 20, I think these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So these are all just low right now. Of course, we're not testing right now. So now we're testing. Let's see what they all sound like now. So now they're pulsing high and low. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that one's pulsing. R3 is pulsing. The base on Q3 is pulsing. I don't know. Well, it's all the signals that I'm getting are exactly like the ones adjacent to it, so I am a little perplexed. But that light's not lighting up. Go through the single test. Huh, well that's weird. I didn't notice that before. There's another 3 over here. So 3 here is working. Y'all can see that, but it's not working over here. Interesting. So maybe there's a connector in the let's go back to schematics and check that out. Maybe there's a trace around the perimeter of the board connecting these two. Okay, so that is pin with 23, 22, 21 of J2. So this is not, well, this is just a game. So on this game, it's a shoot again. And it goes up to 26. Same player, shoot again. J1, 26. And that's J1, that's 26 up there. Because there's 28 up here. Yep. So basically, there's a trace from, you can see the schematics here. There's this shoot again. There's a trace that goes from here to here. A trace that goes from this pin here that goes over here. So the problem is not the SCR, it is the trace on the board. This would have been hard to figure out without this tester. So this is pretty cool. So this board does have a fair amount of corrosion on the back. I bet the trace is, well, clearly it's broken. I bet we can probably see it. I might just have to put a jumper across it. Or it could be something really simple, like that pin didn't make it inside the connector. I bet that's when I pulled it off, I saw this. So I bet that's all it was. So let me put that back in there and we'll try it again. So once I got the pin actually inserted into the board, the 3 is flashing. It doesn't actually look like this. They're just fluttering. They're not like running up and down. That's just the frame rate of my camera. So anyway, this one's going. Tool was pretty useful in helping to diagnose it. And if it would have been a burned up or corroded trace going from here to there, and there is one on this board, we would have found it. All right, so I got another board in here. I'm gonna do the, nothing is locked on, so we'll go to the next test. So they should all be strobing. Those are all strobing. We got several out over here. 54, 56. Oh, we just lost a whole bunch. These wires were pinned when I got it, but they're not pinned real well. The gauge of the wire is so thin, I don't think it's making good contact. So sometimes if you see a whole bunch of them go out, it's because one of these wires is losing connection with its pin. So that's something I'm gonna have to get some slightly bigger wire. There's like 4 strands of wire in this. It's like super fine gauge. Anyway, so we're missing 3 up here, and we're actually missing 3 down here also. 3 looks like it's about to fall out. Yeah, so that one, I wiggle it. Number 3, it's on, now it's off. On and off. So I'm gonna mark that one. Just come down here, 24. I'll wiggle it, yep. So that one comes on and off with wiggling. Another one. 44. That's this one here, yeah, and it's broken there. Little green. It's brother there. Pretty green too. I'll swap it out for sure too. It's actually, I don't know where 43 is at. Okay, anyway, 48. It's dead. And then 56. It's just loose. Put 2 dots for 48 because wiggling did not recover that one. So I'm going to go through and resolder those, maybe check continuity on 48 and see where we're at. All right, so I resoldered those SCRs that I marked that were loose and several others, and I replaced two of those little small SCRs there. Go through the test, get to where they're all flashing. I think I missed it. Reboot it. Okay. They should all be flashing right now. What the heck's going on? All LEDs flash. Nothing's flashing. Everything's plugged in. Let me use both hands and see what's going on here. So on these, like I've said, one of the connectors was not connected all the way. See, I've still got one that's not working because I've got this whole string out here. If I wiggle these lines, it's not the connectors on the boards. I've already confirmed that. It's actually the pins. So I am still short a couple. 48 and 54. 48 still out, and 54. I didn't notice 54 before. On this one, I just resoldered it. I didn't actually swap it, so I think I'll swap both of these out real quick. All right, so I've replaced 54 and 48 with a new SCR. And half the wires are not making connection up here. I'm gonna have to repin this thing. All right, so it's been a couple days since I've been messing with this, and in the meantime, I have put some new wires and repinned the connector from this lamp tester board to the lamp board. The ones that came with the kit, it's a nice gesture to have well, more than a gesture, I don't know. I just found they weren't very reliable, the ones that came with the kit. They're just very fine, and it just didn't seem like they were crimped well enough on the end. Anyway, so I replaced that, and now it's solid. So we're going to get back to testing these boards. Plug it in. I also cranked up the voltage for the screen. It's a little bit brighter here. I think it shows up on the screen a little bit better. So this is first test. Fix any of them that's blinking. So this is basically any of them. If this was in the game, it'd be on solid. I think that's what's going on here. And so we have 22 here is blinking solid. So there's 22 is right here. So we'll just unplug it, and we can get the multimeter to see what 22 looks like. And by the way, I've resoldered a bunch of these on the back of the board because they had bad solder joints. But I am going to just grab the multimeter. Is it that one? Yeah, it's that one right there. And see how it looks compared to the one adjacent to it. So 0.65 and like, if I can get it, 1.2, 0.6, and 0.6. So that ain't right. So let's rip that thing out of there. swap in a new one. And hopefully turn this thing back on, and it won't be locked on anymore. We're going to find out here real shortly. Okay. It's not locked on. Okay, so that's good. Now we'll do the rest of the test. One more button and they should all blink. I see one. Okay, let's just go through every single one. I know they're probably, oh, y'all can't even see them all. Okay, there we go. Sorry. On that first test, that one that we just worked on, the 22, it was not locked on. So anyway, they're all blinking. There's one down here, 48. This dude, I've got it marked already. So that one is not working. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug here, and we'll see what that looks like. When I say see what that looks like with the diode test. Check one that's working first. Oops, I had it. My multimeter is trying to time out on me here. 2.6. Let me turn it around the other way. Geez, if I can get a measurement here. Okay, so it's 1.5 and 0.7 and 22. 48 is this one. Yeah, it's not got any continuity to that center leg, so don't even really need to go through this step. Just rip it out, put in a new one. It's probably the prudent, well, I don't know about prudent, but faster. Because even if it tests good, you're probably going to swap it out anyway. Because that test is not a 100% test anyway, and it's like fast and easy to swap these things out. They don't cost much. It's pretty much the next logical step regardless of what the test says. Now, if you don't have one of these and it's in the machine, you don't know if the problem's at your board or, you know, a bad socket or a bad connector or any other many of things, then you really want to do that diode test to narrow it down to see if that's likely your culprit. Just one of the benefits of having this little tool. Because I know if it's not working, it's not the game. Could be a header pin on this board, but it's certainly not the game. Okay, so let's plug this in, try it one more time. You can tell where you can see everything. Okay, locked on, nothing is locked on. We'll go to the next test. All lamps, 48 is still not working. So we've got something else is amiss. Okay, so 48 goes to R48, which would be here. Get the schematics here. 48 goes to U37. got my logic probe here plugged in. They're just taking the 5 volts right off here. So this is view 1, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, it sounds just like all the ones next to it. And then we got 48 down here. Just seeing how all these signals sound right next to it. See how that one's pulsing a little bit? And that one on the other side of R48 is just low. And these other ones adjacent to it, maybe I'm just not getting on the back side of the board where I can touch it better. See, that one's got a tremor to it. That one does. That one does not. So that's pulsing. That's pulsing. That's pulsing. So we're losing it right here. So I'm guessing that R48 is not good. So let me unplug this thing, turn it off, get the multimeter. Let's measure the resistance across R48. It may just be a bad resistor. Or so the resistor in question is this one here. So 1.92, 1.97, 1.96. They're all measuring good. It's really kind of strange. But it's just not quite making it across there very well. I guess I don't need to solder the other ones. I doubt that fixed it. Did not. Well, hope it's the wrong one. So something is pulling it down on that side. That's low. Huh. I don't know what it is. I'm going to examine this board a little bit further here. Alright, I figured it out. I had a Carl moment. Ain't got no gas. The pin for the 48 was bent over there, so it wasn't plugged into the little board here. So that's all it was. Took me a while to figure it out, but I got it. Anyway, so this board is working all the way. It's going. Every single one's going, and so cool. Mark another one over the line. So I have one more board here to test. This was pulled out of a game, and the game was working, and at least most of them work. I put LED to the game, so there's a few bulbs that were burnt out. It could have been the board. I didn't press it because, like I said, I was LED in it, so we'll find out here real quick. I'm in the locked on test. Nothing's locked on. We'll go to the next one. 57. Those are all on. 4. 4 and 57. I'm just going to mark these real quick. I don't actually own this board. It's going back to the client, as far as I know. I may offer to buy it from him. But anyway, there's 2 of them that are not working. you know, I'll bet you, I'm just going to go ahead. I bet you money it's a bad solder joint on the end because they're both on the end of these connectors. I'm just going to solder them real quick. I bet that's what it is. It's going to let my iron heat up and I'll put y'all on pause. There's one of them. I'd say that's a cold solder joint. And there's several other cold solder joints. The other one was all the way down at the bottom down here. Oh yeah. There's this whole thing needs to be resoldered. But yeah, the bottom one is. So yeah, this thing needs to be resoldered. So anyway, my summary of the board, this little tool anyway, it's pretty awesome. I really like it. It was like 90 pounds or something, or euros, I forget. Anyway, comes from one of those European countries. I think it was Britain. I'm not positive. Anyway, they shipped it real fast. It's a kit. There's not really too much to put together. You watch the other video I put online, you see it. It took like, I don't know, an hour and a half. The only criticism I had were the wires connecting this connector to this connector. They already had the pins on there, the crimped on there, but I think the wire was just so thin, the crimps weren't really making good contact, and you could press on them and they would intermittently come and go, and that just was intolerable for a testing tool when you're trying to see if things are working, and it could be your tool that's causing the problem. And it wasn't really the tool here, it was just the wire harness. So anyway, I just rewired it, and which was no big deal. And so I went through and like fixed up 5 boards in no time at all. So that's pretty cool. So anytime get one now, I'm using this sucker for sure. Even if I get a game in, it's just got a few bulbs out, or maybe bulbs out, or maybe, you know, this would be a tool that I'll just, without even pulling the game out, I just throw this in the game and use it in there. So pretty cool. Got my thumbs up. If you like the videos, click like and go ahead and subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. Adios.